My name is Margaret Adele, and I don't really do a lot with audiobooks most of the time. I don't hate them. They're still a valid form of reading that provides accessibility to readers who might struggle, but I don't really usually do a lot with them. I need a very specific circumstance for me to actually get into it, and often, if I'm in that circumstance, I'll usually go for a podcast instead. But I need to expand my horizons, so when I got a review request for this book and the audiobook, I thought, why not? Let's try it. So I will be reading/listening to Tainted Moonlight by Erin Kelly. This is an urban fantasy all about a man that was changed into a werewolf during the early onset of this virus that created all of those urban fantasy type species, and he is now basically an oppressed subclass as a result of it. And someone he cares about over the course of the story also gets attacked and becomes like him. So this is basically an analogy for oppression in the modern age. There was like a joke somewhere in the marketing that the protagonist would have to become a social justice werewolf. So I, for some reason, when the author first offered this to me, wasn't really interested, or maybe I just had so many review books at the time that anything that wasn't super jumping out at me got a not right now. But good on her. She brought it up again, and this time I said yes, and now I'm reviewing my first review book. However, because I only listen to review books in very specific circumstances, I basically had to wait/make those specific circumstances so that I could get a giant chunk of this listened to. Because I don't do 2x speed. I do it at plain vanilla single 1x speed because I don't like speeding things up. I feel like you lose something just to get through it faster. But fortunately, it is fall. And growing up, my family was always much bigger on fall cleaning than spring cleaning. And my mother's logic was pretty sound. Because we lived in super snowy areas in some parts of my life, super rural snowy areas, you could end up stuck in the house for long periods of time just because the roads were so bad. So her thinking was always, you get real clean and get everything reorganized just before you get stuck in the house for months on end. And it's a tradition that I've taken on for most of my adult life. And I weirdly look forward to it, like getting everything nice and clean and feeling really productive. And then you light like fall scented candles at the end. I make a whole production of it. And usually I have a new playlist or podcast list. But today, well, not today, tomorrow, we're doing this. This is actually Friday night. I am doing this all through Saturday. However, I didn't want to waste time vlogging in the morning, so I'm doing it the night before. So the next time you see me will be bright and early. The only thing I have left to do tomorrow that is not cleaning is the farmer's market, and because there's only a couple weeks left of that before they shut down for the winter, I really want to go. But be prepared for a whole bunch of me bragging about how clean my house is, and also I still am kind of figuring out how to take notes on this, so this is gonna be a journey. Come with me. So, the farmer's market was fairly sparse because it's not even 40 degrees, but we got some stuff, and I totally forgot until I was there that I'm actually using the Tainted Moonlight bag that I got with like the press package when the author sent me this stuff, and I love that. Not that anyone ever needs to send me swag, but if you're going to, I love it when it's like useful stuff. I don't have a lot of use for like prints, unfortunately, but Alex is going to go get our new Halloween decoration, our Happy Tin Pumpkin Man. I'm naming him Harold. You'll see Harold in a second. But I am ready to go back home and jumpstart the day after I have some mocha first, because I'm chilly. So this is Harold. He's super happy it's Halloween and just to meet you in general. Alright, so I have the book downloaded. I am changed into my cleaning clothes. I don't need to let nice clothes all covered in chemicals and stuff. And I'm about to get started. The audiobook is 6 hours long, and I don't think I'll be able to listen to all of that today, or I'll probably burn out before that, but I should be able to do a nice giant chunk of it. And also, I still don't know exactly how I'm going to like stop for check-ins or taking notes, because I do want to take notes. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to like stop between tasks or a couple different tasks to check in real quick and then go back to cleaning, because again, I really want to get a giant chunk of this house clean today, but I also want to vlog. So we'll try this, and I will see you after I've done the dishes and cleaned out the microwave. Alright, the microwave is done, the dishes are clean. First check-in. I am in love with this narrator's voice, Torian Brackett. He does a fantastic job of doing voices that are different for each of the characters, so that you know the minute he starts speaking in that voice what character is talking, but they're not so cartoonish. Although his voices for female characters, or at least the one female character we've had so far, is little iffy, but I'll let that slide. In general though, the regular narrator voice is very nice and I appreciate it, and that's why I'm listening to it at 1x speed. Also, we have a bit of a found family growing. The trio of our main character Corbin plus Alex and RJ are these like 3 best friends who live together, and RJ is like the paternal father of the group. That's Corbin's sponsor, aka the reason he gets to be out of quarantine as a werewolf. I'm loving it a lot, and now there's like a flirty scene with a strange woman at a bar, so it's really good. The narration is really well done. I believe I am in the 2nd chapter, which I don't think is too far in. I think if I'd been reading this whole time I would be farther in, but of course that's not the point of this. Anyway, I still got a ton of other stuff I gotta do, so I gotta pick what I'm doing next before the next check-in. So I think I'm gonna do counter next to the sink, stovetop, and let's go for a nice long giant stretch the entirety of this really messy island, and then I will check in with you again. Ta-da! We are all nice and clean. I am in chapter 3. Admittedly, the narrator's attempt at a child's voice is kind of hysterical, but I still love his voices for all the male characters. And also, this is turning much more dramatic, and almost low-key feels like a telenovela with a secret crush and, you know, all the struggles. Not a lot about like the actual struggles of the laws that affect our main character Corbin, just a lot of him crushing and looking for a job. So at this point it almost feels kind of banal and normal, which is not a bad thing, but I'm definitely hoping that we're going to pick up with some more urban fantasy goodness. We had not gotten to the part in the synopsis that talks about someone being attacked, so we've got that going for us. That'll come up soon. But now, what do we want to do next? I'm probably going to wait a little bit before I check in again, otherwise I'm going to make this take way much more time. But I definitely want to get this organized, and then of course we have the disaster that is the dining room. So I think I'll finish up the kitchen, finish up the top of this, the floors, all of that, and then start on the dining room. And then after I've gotten at least this cleaned off, maybe then I'll check in again. But I'm really liking it. It's 10:30 and I'm still doing really well. Hopefully I'll get most of this done before lunch so that I can take a nice lunch break before I start on the rest of the house. Okay, quick extra check-in, although I have done more work. So there's 3 friends living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and at first I was like, oh, maybe like RJ and Alex just weren't prepared for Corbin to move in, and that's why they're just making it work in 2 bedrooms. And then casually, out of nowhere, it's like, oh yeah, Alex and RJ are boyfriends, and I didn't know that. But that makes it like infinitely better. So now that like 2/3 of our trio of found family are if not gay, at least queer. And so now that automatically makes the story better. Okay, back to cleaning. Hello! Welcome to Margaret under her dining room table. This is the part of cleaning the dining room I really don't like, but I gotta get all the stuff out and before I can vacuum. Story so far is really nice. The narrator's voice for the sister of the girl that the protagonist is crushing on is really funny, because she's the kind of the girl that goes, sissy! Like that kind of girl, but it's a man trying to do that voice, and it's really funny to me. And it's like, I don't know how you do that voice seriously and not make it comedic, but the fact that it's like this black man with a deep voice trying to do that is so hysterical. But I'm really enjoying it. It seems very new adult in that there's a lot of emphasis on finding your future and your happiness and finding your place in life. So it's very new adult, but again, I really want more urban fantasy. Like, I want more werewolf stuff. I want more, I don't know, other stuff. And right now it seems more focused on the drama of the interpersonal relationships. So I'm hoping it picks up with more, you know, werewolfiness. We're getting closer to the next, thank you, garbage bag, the next full moon, so I'm hoping something will go down there. But in general, I am definitely enjoying it so far. Just hoping that we get more good spooky fun. All right, we have the urban fantasy stuff has returned. We got to the attack, and it's about the person I expected it to be. I mean, honestly, if you know anything about story stuff, you kind of knew who it was going to be. But it was nice and big and dramatic, and there's a bunch of new mysteries and like a mysterious organization, and they're urban fantasy connected, and it's very good. I finally feel like we picked up, and I looked through the book to find out what page I was on, and I'm on page 66. So it definitely is a lot fewer pages than I would have gotten if I had been reading for this whole time, but also I got the entirety of my kitchen and dining room clean while those 66 pages were happening, so I'm not mad about it. And again, I still love the author's voice. I still think it's funny when he tries to do like a prissy girl type voice, but I also like the extra like vocal additions, like if the character is hearing someone talking over like a cell phone or something, there's an extra little bit of like special effects with it, or when it's his wolf talking, which you haven't heard a lot of. I'm hoping for more, but I really enjoy it. The werewolves feel like proper big bads, which, considering the fact that most werewolf stories these days are like werewolf romances, they can kind of lose their luster, and they definitely feel lustrous in this one. So in general, I'm really enjoying this. However, it is time for lunch. We're gonna go grab some drinks, then make some lunch, take a quick break, and then I get to tackle either the living room or the bathroom. Haven't decided which yet, and I also need to organize my books this weekend. This is a lot. And also, before I forget, RJ is my favorite. The gay black man that has a soft spot for the alternative middle schoolers, like the behavioral middle schoolers that he teaches science to. As a, you know, queer woman working with special ed kids, he's like, me and him, we're on the same wavelengths. Gotta be the most adulty adult in the group. I get it. I love him. He's my favorite, and I love him as Corbin's sponsor. And also, again, love the fact that they're boyfriends. That's just fantastic. All right, it is just after 1 p.m. and I actually have been cleaning. But I was cleaning the carpet where I spilled a ton of salsa from my lunch. So not really the cleaning I actually had on the list today. But I think next, mostly because I need to plug in my phone because it's dying, but I still want to be able to use my wireless headphones in the same range, we're going to tackle the living room, which should not actually be too hard because there are not as many surfaces that need to be like deep scrubbed like in a kitchen. So the big thing I'm gonna have to worry about is getting everything put away, a lot of the trash, getting the coffee table cleaned off. This, fun fact, the table underneath here was actually the altar at our wedding and is signed with everyone that came there. But I also need to clean this off. We never varnished it. Lazy. But I'm going to take care of all of this. At some point, I'll need to tackle the bathroom. Not looking forward to that one. But I'm ready to jump back into the story. And the living room is done. Well, mostly done. Alex had to go get a new vacuum cleaner because as much as I tried to coax the old one into working, it's not working. I still have to vacuum the dining room too. And I hate having to buy new things, and I hate everything we're throwing out. It feels so wasteful. We're slowly working towards lessening our waste. At one point, before we had the little, we had lessened our waste to the point where we were even considering going to a smaller trash can. And I really hope we can get back down to that even with another little, but there's just something about kids. They just create so much trash. Anyway, I actually didn't listen to the audiobook for the entirety of the time, only because I'm starting to develop a little bit of a headache, and having headphones in doesn't help. Neither does all of the cleaning chemicals, and I kind of need a break, so I might just be hanging out for a little bit. I will light some of the candles early and get that taken care of, to maybe help battle some of it. Maybe open a couple windows just for a little bit. I mean, I am super warm. To help air out the house. Fortunately, the rest of the rooms, well, I take that back. Most of the rest of the rooms we have to do don't require chemicals. Obviously, the bathroom will, but that really can't be helped. You can't clean that properly without some harsh chemicals. But anyway, I'm tired, and I'm not going to finish this all today. I'm realizing I need a break, I'm going to make dinner at some point, and that is a long enough process where I will be listening to the audiobook. I'm currently around page 94, and it's getting into the romance picking up stage, but I'm not exactly sure how this romance is going to work. But anyway, it's still very adorable. I wish our couple... Come on, Margaret. I wish RJ and Alex were more of a couple, because honestly, if I hadn't been paying attention and actually heard them referred to as boyfriends, I don't know that I would have believed it. I would have just continued to believe that they were just crammed into 2 rooms and they were just all friends. And it's a little bit aggravating, I'm not gonna lie. I do wish there was a little bit more outward MLM-ness in that. But who knows? That could pop up next. There's been a lot going on in the book so far. But regardless, I'm gonna go chill out and hopefully get some lotion on my hands, because oh my gosh, they're killing me right now. Too much scrubbing. Good news! My husband is gonna be taking care of the bathroom, so I got to take a shower and wash all of the chemical smell off of me and light a candle and hang out for a second. But now it is about 4 p.m., which means I gotta start making dinner, because tonight I am making an old favorite that I haven't made in a while: stir fry. One, because the little was notoriously picky, and now that it's just us, we can eat what we want again. And 2, it takes a little bit of time to put together, which gives me more time to listen to the book. And this might be the last that I listen of it today, only because I'm noticing that, like, I can get burned out on this kind of thing fairly quickly if I don't have enough space for my own mind to, like, drift off and daydream. You can't do that while you're listening to an audiobook. And also, I only really listen to, or read, I guess, about 100 pages a day as it is, and this entire book, page-wise, is about 230-ish, and I'm almost at page 100 as it is. So finishing off while I'm making dinner should about take it, should about put me where I need to be, and then I can have the night to daydream and begin again tomorrow. Woo, crazy hair! So, dinner has been made, and I got to page 117 after checking in the physical copy, and I'm very proud of that. That is exactly where I need to be, but it's also very strange, because usually I do most of my reading in the evenings, aka like in a normal work day. I don't read at work. I get home and I read after dinner. So it's gonna be weird to have like a big evening to myself, although I mean, I guess I still have all my other dailies to do. So, you know, but I am enjoying it. There are some really in-depth descriptions, especially during the moments where the characters that are werewolves turn into wolves. And I really like that. There's a lot of in-depth descriptions on, and also some murder scenes. We're definitely in the thick of this is urban fantasy, and I like it. So it was just a little bit of a slow build-up, but I'm really enjoying it now. I'm also really about to enjoy this stir-fry. I have not had this, I don't even know how long, so it's going to be a fun night. And I probably won't be vlogging that much. I have been practicing a certain song on guitar just for the October season, just for the vlog. I might do a mini performance of it for the vlog. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. If I'm not confident enough tonight, I'll try again tomorrow. Regardless, I'm going to go eat my dinner. It is Sunday morning, and I did not sleep terribly well, actually very poorly. So it is much later than when I intended to get up, and I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done this morning before we go to our Sunday routine, because we always do the Sunday routine. And I have a video call with the members of the Hype Squad later, so I think I can do at least reorganizing the bookshelf in the office. But first, I want some breakfast. So these right here are the bookcases that you're used to seeing in the backgrounds of my videos. These are not the problem. This one is the problem. And I need to get this shelf to be all of the books that I've already read, and this one, the books that I have not read. And in my defense, while only one of this shelves will be books that I have read, I've read almost all of these, so I still feel good about myself. But let's jump in. So it didn't take me nearly as long as I thought it would, and it's not exactly perfect. I just don't have anywhere for these ones to go, and also several of these aren't even mine. They were lended to me from my sister forever ago, and oh my lord, I even forgot one. You always want your romance cover to look like a CW show, so it's always a good sign. But in general, I think at some point I need to do like some personal reading challenge to get as many of these books in these shelves up to this shelf so that I actually start reading a lot of the books that I get from, mostly used bookstores at this rate. And I also have some books over here that I haven't read, especially down here where it's all like mid-grade books that I haven't read or series that I've started to read, but have not continued. But in general, I actually didn't listen to that much of the book. So that's probably all the work I'm going to get done for this morning. We're going to go do the Sunday routine as usual, and I probably won't do a lot of listening then. I might try it tonight on the exercise bike, but even then I gotta be real careful. I might just switch to actually reading the physical book, which would probably go a lot quicker, but I read over half the book through audiobook, so that's still pretty good. That's still a lot more audiobook than I usually read, but I will check in with you in probably a long while at this point.
How long have we been driving by?
Alright, I have just finished filming another indie review, still got one more to go, it's so much, but I have finally figured it out how I'm going to do productive things to finish out the book. So, I am going to edit the video that I just filmed first, and then I am going to read the physical book on the exercise bike because I don't think the audiobook is going to be fast enough to keep my attention, and if I don't really distract myself on the exercise bike, I feel every minute of the half hour. And then I am going to do the dishes, because there's always dishes to do, and maybe, if there's still some book left over, I will listen to it while I begin making next month's bullet journal spread, so I can still be productive while listening to it, and hopefully it won't be too long before I actually get the review out. But let's go.
We planned our grand.
Hello, the workout has been done. The dishes are all clean, and I am really liking where things are going. There's a lot of intrigue, a lot of conspiracies and mysteries, and I think I know who did it, or at least I know who would make the biggest plot twist if it ended up being them, and I'm kind of intrigued by that, but I don't know that we'll actually find out in this story because there is a sequel, and so like if this is the same story continued, why would they reveal the big bad in this one? But I am really enjoying it. I did not actually read a lot on the bike because the WWE pay-per-view is on tonight, and it's actually really good in a way that WWE has not been in a long time, and I was watching that. But now I got a lot of bullet journal to do, and I had a lot of audiobook left. I think maybe at least another hour or so, or maybe a little bit less than that. If I get tired of waiting, I might go to read it physically, but honestly, when I was reading it on the bike, I low-key wished I was listening to the audiobook, and I don't know if it's just my brain has enjoyed not having to look at words to listen to the story, or if it's just decided that this is the way we are going to consume this story. No clue, but I really like it. So I will check in with you guys when I have a bit more listened to and some bullet journal layouts done.
Through the leaves, the redwood giants fleeing through the leaves.
So here is the bullet journal stuff I have done so far. These are to track if I have done my Duolingo for the day, if I have practiced guitar that day, and here I will be writing down how many words I have written that day, because it is nano. I still have a couple more to add to this, but I am really far ahead in my bullet journal considering the fact that there's still like a week left. But also, I was right. I called who the villain was. I knew it. And like the longer it went, the more I was like, oh no, crap. Oh no, crap, it's them. Don't do it. No, crap, stop. Like before it was revealed. So I'm super proud of myself. I also love the ending, very open-ended, very much don't know what's going to happen next, and really need the sequel. So, Miss Kelly, if you wouldn't mind sending me that one. I mean, I almost kind of would like if it was the audiobook. I'm not saying that I'm like an audiobook person now, that I'm going to start like, getting a Scribd subscription or whatever, but that was pretty awesome. I liked the author. I liked the narrator, and his female voices still slightly off, but it got really dramatic, and I got my cute boyfriend scene, the little moment between RJ and Alex that I was hoping for, so I'm super happy about that. But in general, I'm going to enjoy this review. I think this might be a 5-star, and for my very first audiobook review, that's fantastic. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have been reading some great spooky books as well. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.